Alright, what's up guys? NinjaDeathStrike here, bringing you another Let's Try. I picked up a new game, or part of a new game, this week. It looked interesting. I thought I would share it with you guys, let you get a first look, and talk about the gameplay a little bit. So the game is called Endless Legend. It's from Amplitude Studios, who they have a really interesting business philosophy where they try to involve the player base a lot, and they have really good looking games. Their last game, Endless Space, was pretty good, but it suffered from some gameplay problems that kind of made it get old quick. They do kind of the turn-based strategy games, very similar to Civilization. If you're familiar with that, that's the kind of games they make. And they always have a lot of potential, but sometimes there's problems following through. So this is their second major release. This is currently in alpha. It's available early access on Steam. So we're going to take a look at it today. We're not going to do a full Let's Play because the game's not even released yet. We're still doing alpha. There's a lot of bugs. You can see all these little yellow and black construction bars means that those things aren't working yet. But the game has a lot of promise, and I wanted to give you guys a look at it. And maybe you can think about picking it up when it comes out or giving the early access a try. So we're going to go ahead and set up a game. Right now there's only 4 factions. There will be 8 in the final version, but only 4 for the alpha. So we're going to be playing as the Wild Walkers. They're kind of like elves. They're also the easiest to understand initially, and that's why I'm going to use them for this Let's Try. We also have the Broken Lords, who are kind of like Iron Man. They exist as spirits inside of these armored suits, and they're really, really strong right now. We have the Vaulters. They're kind of the science-y people. I haven't actually used them yet, so I'm not really sure what they do, but they do science things. And then we have the Necrophages, who are pretty cool. My favorite faction right now. They're a very warlike kind of hive mind. If you're familiar with the Zerg from StarCraft, you'll get the idea. They thrive on conquest. So we'll go ahead and set up a regular game here. I don't want to mess with these. Yep, we're just going to start this game. I'm going to pause the recording because it does take a little while to load the map, and then I'll be back once the game starts to explain what's going on to you guys. Okay, we're back. The game has started. We've got our little elf man here. We've actually got a few guys. You can see these are the units in this that are making up this army. We have 2 archers and then a settler, and we also have a hero. Heroes are special units. You can either put them in charge of armies or put them in charge of cities, and they give, I mean, they're obviously awesome in combat, and they also give huge bonuses to cities. Particularly the Wild Walkers unit is very good at managing cities, so we can kind of split these guys up, which is what we're going to do. We're going to scout around a little bit. So the game uses a hex-based grid, which if you've played Civ 5, you'll be familiar with. I'm going to turn on the resource yields here so that I can explain what's going on. So we see things pop up here. These are all the resources that these tiles are going to be generating. The yellow is gold, green is food, blue is science, red is production, and then we also have a 5th one up here, influence. It's kind of like political clout that you can use to declare war or make peace. The diplomacy function is not implemented yet, so if you meet other players, you'll just be at perma-war with them. But in the future, it will let you do some cool stuff with your alliances and things like that. You need political capital to initiate those kinds of things. Now, we can zoom way in here, get a good look at this stuff. I am running the game on a bit of a lower graphic setting just because my laptop's kind of old, but it looks really pretty on higher graphical settings, and the art style is amazing. We can also scroll over each hex, and we see, you know, over here what it's going to be producing. There's a couple special anomalies here. They're positive boost that you can get for your city. So there's one over here. We're going to scout around a little bit, so I'm going to tell this guy to break off. And when we look at our units, we'll see down here we have their movement, their sight, and their health. So we're going to scout around a little before we decide where to put our city, but since we're the elf race, we're going to want to be near some forests, and we also have some of these anomalies here. There's some minerals, There's some mitochondria. We also have forest over here, so this looks like it might be a pretty decent place to settle. Up here it would be good too because of the forests we have. And it looks like there's also maybe some nice stuff up here. We have a geothermal pit. Sorry, you can hear the sounds a little scratchy. I'm not sure what that's about. It's been doing that the last couple days. I don't know what happened. It used to be okay, and then it's been really scratchy. So we also see these borders here. Each world map is split into regions, and you can only have one city per region. So if we zoom out here, and it's actually going to turn into a really cool fantasy style overworld map that you can look at, and it's split up into regions. Once we found a city, this whole region will turn our color. So that's neat. We also have these ruins here, which we'll definitely want to explore. You can search these ruins. Sometimes you'll find some gold, or sometimes you'll get a quest, and it looks like we got a quest here. Quests are one of the unique features of the game. There's actually a victory condition, or there will be, where you can complete your factions, complete all of their quests, and it adds an RPG element to the game. So there's lore up here, which I'm not going to read right now because, again, it's in alpha. I don't want to really dig into it till the game's out. But down here we get new objectives. Search the Arugia ruins, revealed by the rays of dust, with a strong infantry hero, which we don't have and won't have for a while. And if we complete it, we're going to get a sweet weapon. So that's cool. You can see the quest goes up here. You can have multiple quests open at the same time. That's not one that we're going to be able to do anytime soon. But it looks like we've got another ruin here, so we're going to check that out. And we didn't find anything, so that sucks. Let's see what's up this way. Oh, more ruins. So this Earth Spine is actually in a different region, which means we won't be able to work it unless we settle in that region. This one's okay, but it's not great. I feel like this is probably where we want to be. The only problem is there aren't a whole lot of forest here. So I could actually settle... This is not a very good starting location at all for us. You've still got a few movements left to bring you down here. You also see it's a little hard to see because they go with a border, but there's a cliff face here, and so I'm not going to be able to get up to these right away. I'm going to have to move around them. Come on, there you go. So, where do we want to settle? We've got some spice deposits. That's a luxury resource that'll be nice to have later. I feel like we just want to get going with the forest, so I might actually put the city over here, even though we're going to miss out on this mitochondria. Because the other option, I guess, would be like here. And yeah, that's not as good. We definitely just want to go all in on the forest plan. So if we settle here, I guess right here is probably the best. Just right in the middle of the forest. Okay, so we met a new miner faction. That's another unique element to this game, and probably my favorite. There's a bunch of different miner factions. I think there's going to be 15 in the final game. There's maybe 8 right now, but they're basically barbarians, except you have the option to either conquer them, or you can learn to communicate with them, and eventually you can actually assimilate them into your culture. And if you do, you'll get these unique bonuses. So if you get these guys, the boss, they're like centaurs. If you assimilate them, you get this cavalry unit. You'll be able to make it, and no one else will. And they also will give you bonuses on your city. So these guys will make food. This is actually a really good race, and probably one that we'd be interested in bringing in. But you can see they have a camp right up here. Now, in order to assimilate them, you do have to settle in their region first. So they're not in our region, which means we're not going to be able to get them right away. We are going to go ahead and put a city down, though, right here. So there we go. We get our first city. And we can zoom in on it. It does have a glitch where it makes your city see-through. If you just save and reload, you can get rid of that. I'm going to go ahead and assign the hero here so that he'll start collecting experience points, and eventually he's going to provide a lot of production in the city and just going to make it able to pound out units. So we have some options here. Seed storage, basically farms. It's going to make your city grow, which is super important in the early game. Founders Memorial, you can only put it in one city, but it gives it a boost to a small boost to everything. And then we have sewer systems, which will increase our happiness. We don't need to do that just yet. Definitely want the seed storage first, since population on cities is a huge deal. So there we go. I'm going to reload this real quick so that we can take a nice look at our city, and then we'll get into some more gameplay. Okay, we're back, and now we can see our nice pretty elven city. So what we have is one city tile, and then the surrounding area will get turned into farmland. You do get the benefits of each tile both in the city and in the farm, so we're collecting all this stuff right now. Unfortunately, this ruins is blocking out one piece, but that's fine, we'll live with it. And eventually you'll be able to expand the walls of your city and get these turned into city tiles. So let's continue to explore here. So we'll go over here. Oh, he's out of moves. Okay, we'll end the turn then. Oh, we need to pick a science. We'll take a look at the research tree here. And yeah. Oh, whoops. Alright. So the way research works is, instead of the branching paths you kind of have with Civ, you have just an era wheel, and if you research 10 technologies from that era, you automatically move up to the next one. So right now there are 4 eras. Eventually there will be 6, and there will be a science condition victory. But it's kind of interesting because you have access to all the level 1 area techs immediately, so you can just start getting whatever you want. The first one we want is the most important, search party. It increases the chance of finding stuff in the ruins, and that is a huge boost in the first game. So just pick this first, always. Beyond that, things change a little bit. We can start getting some gold for rivers or making banks. We have some science buildings and some production buildings over here. This will also let us start getting luxury resources, which don't do a whole lot right now, so that's not going to be a priority for us. Yeah, we'll see what we want. We're going to explore a little more before we decide what we want. So just go ahead and end the turn. And we get our first faction quest. We have our little faction symbol up here, and they want us to explore 3 ruins on the map. Now, we probably should have waited to get that before we explored these, but oh well. What's done is done. We'll find some more. Okay, so we met a new unit. These guys are like 2-headed wolves. They have a really good ranged unit, but since we already have ranged units, we're probably not going to be interested in assimilating them. Let's go over here. See if we can find out what else we have in our region. Not a whole lot of resources right now, actually. We are probably going to have to kill these guys before too long. Eventually they will start spawning armies and they will attack your cities, and it is annoying. Very important thing about this game is that you do need to build up a military fairly quickly, at least right now in the alpha, because everything's just set to be hyper aggressive. Alright, so we finished our research. Before we decide on the next bit, I do want to scout around a little more. Come on. Again, we have this dust, but spice, but that's not doing a whole lot. Our starting region was not awesome. There's not really the map's totally random at this point, so they don't really give you, you know, a nice starting position. Sometimes it's just awful. So we'll see what's down here. Okay, ooh, the haunts. These guys are sweet. They're flying ghosts. They're super slow, but they give you a science boost, and their special attack, they do this chain lightning thing that just hits everything that it hits a unit, and then every unit that unit's touching, it's really powerful. So definitely interested in assimilating these guys eventually. Hopefully before they start killing us. Okay, so we got another resource up here, but it's not going to do anything because we can't really harvest it. Okay, we need to pick our next research. So we don't have any strategic resources, so that's not really going to help us. This is the tech that's going to allow us to start talking to the minor races. I think we want to pick that up because we would like to try and convince the haunts to join us before they crush us. So we're going to go for that first. And I think second, we'll probably want this. Production is just really, really strong, so prioritizing production buildings early is definitely recommendable. Looks like that's all we can do this turn, so go ahead and pass. We're also going to want to start getting some military units fairly soon here. And I'll go ahead and take a look at the military real quick. This is where you can see your armies, you can see all the different armies you have. You can also look at your units, and you can actually edit your military units and equip them with various different equipment. You start with the basics, but then you're able to research more and more. Right now we have our guys equipped with crossbows and shields, but I'm actually going to give them the longbow. It increases their damage, and these units are incredibly frail. We don't want to give them armor because it'll slow them down. We just want them to attack for as much damage as possible, as fast as possible. So we're going to go ahead and do that, and then if we apply, from now on, whenever we build one of these units, you can see it gets that 2, and they'll be made with the new bows instead of the old ones. You can also retrofit your old guys if you click on them, and then right here you can pay a certain amount of gold and update them so that your old units aren't obsolete. So go ahead and do that. This will continue to scout around a little bit here. Don't want to get too far away from home because eventually I'm going to get attacked. There's some ruins. We'll be able to explore those. Now there's a little trick here. I don't know if they'll take it out or if it's going to stay, but even if you have 0 movement left, as long as you're beside something that you can interact with, it doesn't take a movement point to interact. So we're still going to be able to search these ruins. And we got a quest. Build a new city in a new region within 15 turns. I don't know if that's a little early. I don't know if we're going to be ready to expand by then or not. We can try and push it probably. Looks like this might be a good region to settle in. We got some titanium. We're definitely going to want some strategic resources. So I'm going to send these guys in to scout this area out a little more. Puppy's barking. Alright, so there we go. And it looks like we're going to learn the language square the next turn, so I actually want to pull these guys back here, and that way I'll be able to talk to the haunts next turn, assuming they don't just kill me, which they might. So we got a lot of forest here, got some titanium, exotic stuff. And I'm actually going to change. We can go into the quest menu here, and you get to look at all the different quests you have. You can pin one at any time to keep it up, and I want to pin this one so that I can keep an eye on the turn counter. I don't think we're going to be able to finish it, and the reward isn't that great. It's just some wine, which is okay, but nothing special. So if we don't manage to pull it off, that's fine. We'll go ahead and end the turn. Okay, so we researched the language square. We can start talking to the minor factions now. That's good. We also, our population grew. We're just going to put it all into food right now. Growing is the most important thing we can do. And now that we have this option, we can talk to them or bribe them, which will just make them join us. We're going to try and get a quest from them, though. So we see they give us a quest. Find the monsters the tribe has identified their lair in some ruins. So they want us to kill some guys. Shouldn't be too hard. And it should show up on the map. We'll see a little quest marker. Yeah, see if we scroll over. Oh no, that's not it. Is it? No, that's new, but we should go check that out. I'm not sure where that quest is. We'll have to find it. I thought it was going to be that one, but I guess not. Oh, here we go. It's over here. So they want us to go kill these monsters, which we will not be ready to do for a few turns. Definitely need to get a little bit of infrastructure before we start pumping out military units. Looks like we have some ruins over here, though. And unlike Civ, each player is able to explore the ruins, so even if you get beat to them, there will still be stuff there for you. We found some gold. That's pretty sweet. Gold is nice. Lets us buy pretty things. We're going to keep exploring this region, because this is probably going to be where I end up putting my second city, although up here is potential as well. And I mean, we could, there's a lot of forest over here, so this wouldn't be a bad spot either, and it's on a river. Let's check this out some more. Okay, pass the turn. Actually, I wonder if it would just be easier, since we found that, we bring these guys back here. Since we found that gold, I wonder if it would just be easier to bribe these guys and then not have to deal with them. How much does it cost? 84 gold. Yeah, that's going to be easier than the quest. So we're just going to buy them. So we can see down here, minor faction Haunt is ready to be assimilated by our empire. We can pull that up on our Empire screen. This kind of gives us an overview of everything that's going on. I'll get into it a little more later, but we can see our bonuses that we get for our faction. We can see our gold and influence, overall approval rating, and then down here is really the important stuff. These are the minor factions we've assimilated, and this is the Empire plan, which we'll get to see in action in a few turns. But we definitely are going to assimilate the Haunts right away. Oh, we need 30 influence. Never mind, we're not. We don't have enough of that. So we'll get to them eventually, but they are pacified. If you click on the city, you can see up here, it will show you all of the minor factions that are living in your area. There's only one, and we've pacified them. That means that they will not spawn units to attack us, which is great, because we don't really want to fight those guys. They're pretty brutal. We are going to have to fight these wolven guys eventually, I think. We could go ahead and get their quest, I suppose. That wouldn't be a terrible idea. There's some ruins down here. Yeah, I think I'm going to pick up their quest just to see what it is, and that way, if I can complete it, I can keep them from attacking me, which would be great. Okay, so our city has grown again. Good, they put them right into food. Our heroes should level up soon. Yep, next turn, and then we'll get to look at the hero screen, so that'll be good. We need to decide what to build. Another archer is not a bad idea. Founders Memorial is pretty good, though, so we may as well pick that up. And then we're going to want the mill after that. So, okay, you can click on this thing, it'll take you to all your armies that still have action points left. Let's finally get to exploring this region beside us. The Seratan, the spider people. These guys are good too. They're very defensive infantry units, so definitely not bad. They actually pair pretty well with the elves, but we're definitely going to want the haunts just for raw power. We can at least talk to them though and see what they want next turn. Let's see what these guys want. Kidnap their brothers somewhere in a nearby region called Gadak. Locate the Ursi's village and destroy it. Okay, so they want us to attack some other guy. Again, we're not going to have the troops do that for a little while, but we'll keep it in mind. And let's see, what's our time at? Probably time to end this. Yeah, 26 minutes. Alright, so we're going to call an end to the video here, and then I'm going to do a few of these because I want you guys to see everything that's in the game right now. Not, like I said, not going to do the full game, but enough for you guys to get the feel for what it's doing and decide if it's a game you might be interested in picking up. So that's going to do it for this one. Let me know what you think. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments, and I'll try to answer them, and I'll have more coming away shortly. Later, guys.